Coming back here on Sports Talk Chicago. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Joey Christopoulos here, filling in for John Zaglul. You can follow me at Joey Sports Guy. Make sure you follow us at Sports Talk Chicago, wherever you get your socials, whether it is Facebook, Instagram, or on Twitter, or formerly known as Twitter, known as X. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comment below here on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, of course, thank you so much to our radio affiliates for broadcasting us all across the great state of Illinois. Just want to get a couple thoughts off my chest about the Chicago Cubs. They're still playing right now. I'm taping this on a Wednesday night. They're playing the Braves right now, trying to avoid getting swept. Look, here's my quick thoughts on them is that I think the defense has been bad. The bullpen has been terrible. Those are two obvious answers. But if you said that in any other baseball season, typically a Chicago Cubs team would be multiple games under 500 or that frustrating one up, one down at the 500 mark. And to this point, they're 7 games over. So I think this is great news for the Chicago Bears and for the Chicago Cubs. And with the Cubs, you've seen it a lot on socials that some fans have been mad at the pitching to start the season, but the offense was good, and now they're mad at the offense for being bad while the pitching kind of slides back, especially while we're dealing with this bullpen situation. And all I got to say is that, look, it is still mid-May. We're starting to learn a lot about who this team is, but again, health has struck this team. They have been snake bit by injuries, and I don't think we're going to get the full picture for at least another month. And I'm hoping and praying that they can at least get healthy to kind of give us a decent picture of not just whether this team can be competitive for the playoffs, but whether they can actually make noise in the playoffs, because that's what it's going to take for Jed Hoyer to actually go out and make some significant and substantial moves. Speaking of those moves, I know we're talking about the bullpen right now. Everyone's trying to figure out what we're going to do. Everyone wants us to trade for Mason Miller on the A's right now. Look, I think Mason Miller is one of the best options that's out there. If you trade for him now, you're going to be dealing some high-end top shelf prospects to get him back. I don't know if that's necessarily the move. I just kind of dug in there and I said, look, there's some guys out there right now. I want you to just keep out there some names that if you hear it somewhere down the road, Jed Hoyer trades for these guys, you can at least be like, oh yeah, Joey Sports Guy and Sports Talk Chicago said these dudes were legit and worth looking at. Some guys that are putting up some good numbers right now. Obviously, we've heard a lot about the rumors with Tanner Scott on the Marlins. Tanner Scott, numbers aren't great in terms of the walks right now. Walks are a huge problem with the Chicago Cubs bullpen. Is that a move you really want to make or stake your claim on? Is that the move you want to make right now and then say, we're done for the rest of the season? I'm not so sure. There's a couple guys right now, including Carson Fulmer and Adam Simber on the Angels right now that are putting up decent numbers. Angels aren't going nowhere. The first thing that they're probably going to try and do is trade some of those bullpen arms. That's another place to look at. And then also, of course, the Nationals, who I think will eventually fall out of the race. They have Derek Law and Dylan Floro right now having strong starts to their seasons right now. They have enough innings. They have enough run right now. You're kind of getting a good idea that they're having a good season. That would be something the Chicago Cubs could definitely take a look at. The one guy also that I want to keep an eye on, and this is my pet little pick, is that right now the Houston Astros are 10 games under 500. It is not going well for the Houston Astros right now. And if they fall out of the race, I'm not saying that they do, a garage sale for all the names of their top names, but I can see them moving one guy. And the one guy I could see them moving is Ryan Presley. Now, they went out and they signed Josh Hader to a $100 million deal, and Ryan Presley got moved into a setup role. Now, his numbers aren't super great right now, but he does have a 13.82 K per 9 inning rate right now. The K numbers are still up, and over the last 6 seasons, he's had a K to 9 rate over 10. So the dude gets guys out. He can strike them out. He's a veteran. He's a pro. He's pitched in a World Series. He's pitched in the playoffs. He's saved a lot of games for the Houston Astros. And to be honest with you, they probably don't have the scratch to keep him around because he does have an option for, I believe, $10 million next year. That is a move that's going to push the Chicago Cubs into the luxury tax. But if you're saying to yourself, you don't want to trade prospects for a guy like Mason Miller, and you do want to try and get someone that is top shelf, I think Ryan Presley on the Houston Astros is a guy to keep an eye on in the coming months, that if they fall out of the race, I do think that's a possibility where they can go out and probably get a guy like that, and immediately move him into the 8th or 9th inning and have something happen for him. The last thought on the Chicago Cubs. We're talking a lot about bullpen. Bullpen's the problem. Defense is the problem. I kind of think catcher's also a problem. I don't want to be first on this one as a former catcher, but man, the offensive production from the Chicago Cubs catching core right now is not good. I understand that they're trying to give Miguel Amaya a ton of run. I like Miguel Amaya a lot. Craig Counsell was brought in as manager because he's the type of guy that tries to play the young guys and try and get them acclimated to the game, something that I think maybe David Ross didn't excel at or maybe didn't do at a rate or at a pace that the front office was very happy with. So they give Miguel Amaya a lot of run. And to be honest with you, his OPS is under 600 right now. He's hitting under 200. With Justin Steele back, you are going to see a little bit more of Yan Gomes. I think they want to keep those two guys paired. But you can already tell that a 36-year-old Yan Gomes, what we got from him last year was almost a career year from Yan Gomes at age 35. I mean, dude drove in over 60 runs. He was fantastic. Hit the ball with authority on the regular. It just isn't really happening right now. And I am curious to see, can they consistently run out a catching unit that's going to hit about 200? A catching unit that's slugging percentage is barely going to be over 300 or even 350. What are they going to get out of that unit moving forward? And what does that look like? And a guy that I just want to kind of throw out there, a guy that I've liked for a little while, he is going to be an unrestricted free agent next year. A dude that I think can come in right away, and a guy who's on a team who's just absolutely terrible is Elias Diaz on the Rockies right now. Unrestricted free agent next year, won't cost you anything, probably won't cost you a ton of prospects. But the dude right now is slashing 299, 342 on base percentage, 423, slugging for a 766 OPS. His WAR right now is 0.8. All those are good things. If you look up his numbers, the dude has always been a consistently between 240, 270. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. He is an offensive first catcher, but it is going to come to the point where the rubber needs to meet the road a little bit. Where are they getting enough production from that position, the catching position, to ask themselves, do we maybe need to make a move? And if that move happens, I think it probably would mean the end of Yan Gomes in a Cubs uniform. I think they would stick with Miguel Amaya and they would bring in someone like Elias Diaz. But that's for another time. I do like where the Cubs are going right now. I'm very curious to see as we move forward. Can they get hot, and what does hot look like, and can they sustain it? Because I don't think we've seen the best baseball yet from the Chicago Cubs, and hopefully when they get healthy, we will be seeing it moving into June, into July, and that will hopefully advocate Jed Hoyer to get a little frisky, get a little confident, and go out there and maybe bring in some pieces, specifically in the bullpen, maybe a catcher that can help this team go to the next level and hopefully go deep into October. That's going to do it for Sports Talk Chicago here. Joey Christopoulos filling in for John Zaghloul. Thank you so much to John Meadows for producing this show. Thank you so much to our radio affiliates all across Illinois, 98.3 The Life, WKAN, W55 The Ticket, ACTV, JED-TV, WJOB, Cities 92.9 Talk FM, and 101.1 Peoria Sports Radio. Again, you can follow us wherever you get your socials at Sports Talk Chicago. Follow me at Joey Sports Guy. And thank you so much for watching us here on YouTube. Comment and question below. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. We're going to have a fun summer. We're going to have some great guests. I'm so happy and privileged to be subbing in for John this week. I think I'm coming back next week too as well. So hopefully we will have some fun. And again, question of the day down below. How many passing touchdowns will Caleb Williams have in the 2024-2025 season that I am predicting the Chicago Bears will go 11-6. You heard it here first. Thanks so much for everyone for tuning in. Be well, be safe. Please be good to each other. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will be back.